Hey, hello everyone, and welcome back to my channel named Learning to Learn. So, first of all, really sorry if there is a background noise because I could not use my mic today. Apart from that, we have done the first introduction videos of what is a research paper and what is a review paper and how can we publish a research paper, the basics. Today, what we are going to cover is if you have gone through any research paper in the past, you might have found certain elements in every kind of research paper. Okay, so these are some of the elements which I'm going to explain it to you in a very detailed manner, in a very crisp manner, so that once you start writing a research paper, you need to understand that what exactly is to be included, what not to be missed. Okay, so in this lecture, the target of this lecture would be to understand what are the contents to be included in a research paper, what are the topics which you should not be missed, and how to find out the contents which you can actually implement in your research paper. So these are the three things. Now, let's start with today's lecture. The first one is these are the steps or these are the points which you might have found in various research papers. Even some of these points are also included in our thesis. So we have abstract, keywords, introduction, literature study, research design. We also have data collection, analysis, conclusion and references. So as if you have seen any research paper, I'll just show you one. Okay, I think yes, this is one of the research papers. So this is a research paper I have downloaded from Elsewhere. Okay, it was a very simple research paper, and if you go to the abstract of this, okay, so the introduction, it will have an abstract. The first thing you will see in any research paper is the abstract. So what do we mean by the term abstract? Abstract is the rough idea or a brief summary about the research. So when you start writing research papers, now you need to do literature study, right? You need to understand what is the research gap. To find out the research gap, you have to study research papers on the same topic. Like you have to see if there are 5 research papers on the same topic, 10 research papers, and then you have to read all the research papers. Just understand, reading 10 research papers is very difficult, but reading abstracts of 10 research papers is very easy. It is just a simple path. So abstract exactly gives you the idea that what is this research about, what is the data collection about and everything. It will give you a brief summary. Only by reading the abstract you will understand, is this research paper for me? Is this research paper important for my study? Is this research paper is related to my research project or research paper? If yes, of course I will read the entire research paper. If not, it is deviating my topic, or if it is at a different note altogether, I don't have to read the entire research paper. Come on, I'll just read the abstract, I get the gist and I'll move forward. Okay, so for that you need to understand the abstract. Like what is the abstract? What is the brief summary? What is the you can say the conclusion of the research. Okay, the next one is the keywords. Many research papers will give you certain keywords. I have seen minimum 3 keywords in almost all research papers. So keywords basically includes all those terms which are in the heading first of all and which are discussed in detail. Like these are the points where they are stressing. For example, if I talk about human resource management during COVID, so you will find 3 key terms like staffing, human resource and COVID. So these 3 terms you need to explain it, that what these terms specifically mean, and then we can move forward with the research. So of course keywords are also important, and on standard I have seen 3 keywords in every type of research paper. The next will go to the introduction part. Introduction is the brief introduction on the topic. Like suppose if I don't know what HRM is, I don't know what human resource management is, by going to the introduction I'll understand what is human resource management, what is staffing, what is COVID and everything. So introduction is basically introducing the theme to the readers, that if any person is not from commerce background, he'll get a gist like what is human resource, what is staffing, and of course if somebody does not know what is a COVID, he'll understand what is a COVID. Okay, so that is the introduction to the basic topic and the keywords. And what would be our, what is the study about? The title, of course. After the introduction, you will state out clearly what is your literature study. It means how many papers have you studied, have you gone through, how did you find the research gap. All these details would be included in the literature study. I could give you a sample format or sample of research study, literature study, like to conclude this particular research, we have gone through, or I have gone through 4 literature papers, out of which 3 were completely related to the topic, and I was able to find a research gap where this particular portion was left out and none of the papers have reviewed or gone through this particular topic. So here what you're doing is you're completely stating out right that I have gone through 4 research papers, okay, or I have gone through 5 research papers, out of which 3 were completely related to the topic. I've gone through every content of the research paper and this particular element was missing, and that became my research gap, and from that research gap I am stating this entire research. So I hope I'm making sense here. I hope you're able to understand me, and if there is any problem, just mention in the comment section. I'll try to help you out. Okay. So literature study you have to clearly mention, and at the end of the research paper you have to explain, or not explain, cite the references that from where did you get this information, from where did you study the theory and everything. So references are very important, and certain times it are directly linked towards the literature study. The next one is research design. Very, very important. Research design, in research design, you are going to completely state that this research is based on descriptive, experimental, whatever it is, and how are we going to collect the data? Is it a primary data? Is it a secondary data? What is a sample? What is a population? How did I derive to that particular sample? Everything related to the next step of research should be clearly stated in this particular point. Okay. After this particular point, we have data collection. Yes, we in research design, we have clearly stated that what is our sample? How did we derive to that particular sample? How did we conclude that, okay, this sampling method would be the best? You should give logical reason and explanation to it. Okay. Once you have done this, you have determined, okay, I need a data from primary data sources or secondary sources. Whatever you have gone through, you'll start collecting the data, right? It can be through questionnaire, through schedule, through various other sources. So here you will exactly tell the readers that this is the data I have collected. So the sample for this would be the data has been collected from 42 universities, and 600 lecturers of 42 universities have contributed their data to this particular research. So this is the way you're going to exactly state outright in numbers that how much data is collected, what was the data about, how did they collect. You can even specify that it was conducted through a questionnaire, or we have actually surveyed, or something like that. Okay. After the data collection, you start your analysis. You'll use various mathematical tools, statistical tools like mean, median, mode, standard deviation, and various other things to understand that particular data, and that will help the readers also to understand what your data is trying to say. Okay. After the analysis, you will of course conclude your research. Like, yes, I have done all the research, I have done the literature study, I have gone through everything, and this is what I feel. This is what I conclude. This is what I think the result is. Okay. And then last, the references. Now, one more thing you need to understand before ending this particular session is there can be experimental research as well. So, and in that particular case, you need to assume hypothesis. Here, I did not take hypothesis because many of the research, especially commerce research, they don't take hypothesis. So, it is totally up to your paper, up to your topic, and up to your research design or research method that you're going to take hypothesis or not. So if it is an experimental research, of course you might take hypothesis, and then before concluding you'll even test the hypothesis. But if you're not assuming a hypothesis, you don't need to test it either. So this was all about the basic contents of a research paper. So if you are just planning to write a research paper, these are the contents you need to include. You don't miss on these contents, and you can actually come up with all these contents by reading 2 or 3 research papers. Just go through the research papers 1, 2, 3 and just jot down the topics which are repeated in every type of research. So in almost all research papers, you'll get an abstract. So just write it down. Then introduction you'll get. Just write it down. So you'll get a understanding that yes, what topics are exactly included in that particular type of research. Okay, so that was it for today. Thank you so much. I had a great time. I hope you understood the video, and if there are any problems, any things I could help you out with, please mention in the comment section below. I would love to help you everyone. Bye, subscribe to my channel. Take care.